my name's Amy. I'm a midwife and the founder of Natural Birth Co. I wanted to take a moment to set the expectation of the call we're about to have, which I am super excited about. So this call is designed for us both to get super duper clear on the type of birth that you're after. What sort of birth do you want exactly? How does that look like for you? We'll then cover your history, if you've had any babies before, if there's any difficulty with conceiving, if you've had any injuries or something in the past that's going to impact your pregnancy or your birth experience. The last thing I like to talk about is if you're feeling any challenges, fears, resistance towards birth that could very well impact your birth experience. They are super duper important to listen to and to deal with during pregnancy. Very commonly, they are created from how our mums have birthed, how our friends have birthed around us, as to what our subconscious perception is of how birth is going to be for you. Once we cover all these bases, we will then talk about how to best prepare you, your body, and your mind to have this birth experience that you desire. Once we establish all of this, we will then discuss how exactly to get you prepared for your natural birth experience. So we will consider exactly what birth you want, all the history you had, and come up with a plan that really suits your circumstance, your schedule, your financial situation, whatever there is to consider, to come up with a plan that really suits you and your family and your work and all sorts of things so that you can still do it all and prepare for your normal birth experience. Here at Natural Birth Co, we really deeply consider preparing three main aspects for birth. One is your physical preparation, two is preparation of your mental state, and three is preparation of your partner. What I've really found through my work at the hospital with the parents and my work with the parents through Natural Birth Co is preparing these three aspects is absolutely essential for that natural birth experience. Having one or the other doesn't quite cut the mustard when it comes to preparing for your normal birth. So the services we provide to help prepare these three aspects include your yoga and Pilates membership, a body balance workshop for pregnancy, and also our Appetence Active Birth Workshop. Now, a lot of you would have heard about our How to Cope with Pain and Labour workshop as well, which is actually a part of our Appetence Birth Workshop. It's just a nice little side note for that. So when we talk about physical preparation, we want to cover three main aspects of physical prep. This is creating balance throughout the ligaments and muscles that surround the uterus and the pelvis. Now, this is so important because balance is what allows space in the uterus for your babe to be in the optimal position for your individual body. Balance also allows babe to descend through the pelvis through flexion of the head, chin to chest, and rotation as they descend through the pelvis, allowing for a normal, progressive, efficient labor. If we have an imbalance in the ligaments and muscles, then we can actually encourage baby into a suboptimal position, which is difficult for labor to start and difficult for labor to continue. And we can also create obstructions within the pelvis, which act as an actual gate, not allowing baby to come out of the pelvis. So this workshop is specifically designed using traditional midwifery techniques, using yogic postures, using chiropractic techniques, using spinning babies techniques, all together to create that balance. And it's specifically designed to help mamas avoid things like these awful terms, and I'm sorry to use them, but failure to progress and an obstructed labor. This workshop is specifically designed to avoid those two things. So what else we consider when preparing physically is connecting with our body and our intuition. Now, we very much do this in our yoga, which is connecting with the body, escaping the mind from thought, connecting with our intuition. We also really focus on strength, which is where the Pilates more come in. Now, strength in our glutes and our legs is really effective to increase your endurance and your resilience towards birth. So if you happen to have a bit of a longer labor, you are able to stay intentionally active for so much longer if you are physically fit. You are also able to be much more resilient towards your birth if you are physically fit. Rather than getting physically exhausted during birth, that is a huge reason. That is one of the three that we talk about that makes a woman tap out of a birth that she wants into a birth that she doesn't want. Is the act of physical exhaustion. So the fitter, the better. Now, when it comes to preparing mentally for birth, we focus on three main things: how to cope with pain in labor, building trust in your body and the process of birth, and building connection with your intuition and fine tune that intuition. So we really focus on those three main aspects, and they are all covered throughout the yoga Pilates, a bit in the birth workshop, and a bit in the body balance workshop as well. Lastly, but far from least, we focus on preparing your partner for birth. Now, this is solely in the Apperton's birth workshop that we focus on this. Now, we really focus on preparing them to support you emotionally during labor. It's a hard job to have, honestly, and you never know if you're doing a good job. So preparing them emotionally to support you emotionally in labor is huge, and that really impacts your labor in the sense of how your hormones run. If they're supporting you emotionally during labor, your hormones are flowing beautifully, allowing for a beautifully progressive labor. We also teach them how to support you physically during labor. So this might be through massage, this might be through knowing where baby is in the pelvis, knowing the signs, and telling you what positions to go into to create space. This might be them being able to find and notice if you're having a stall in labor, and be able to do a bunch of tricks that we teach them to get rid of that stall, get rid of that obstruction so that labor can continue. This is so many different aspects to physical support during labor. We also teach them how to advocate for you, especially in the hospital experience. Advocation is so important. So important. So teach them how to advocate for you, how to talk to the healthcare professionals, how to get your point across in a nice, respectful way while still getting the birth that you want. We teach them and yourself how to make value-based decisions, which I bang on about all the time. Value-based decisions is so important for the satisfaction and empowerment of your birth experience. So much good stuff we teach the birth partners. So they are the three main aspects that we'll talk about. Those are the services that we'll talk about as well. They might all be for you. They might some be for you. There's no pressure either way. We're always very willing to adapt in a way that suits you and your situation. So I can't wait to have our call. I can't wait to get super clear with you and to have you part of our Natural Birth Co community. Talk to you soon.